For millions of years, the human brain evolved with a single priority: immediate survival. To keep you alive, it adapted to conserve energy at all costs. This means your brain is biologically hardwired to avoid unnecessary effort and seek out the path of least resistance. We often treat a lack of discipline as a character flaw or label procrastination as laziness. But when you struggle to stick to a routine, you are experiencing a direct conflict between your ancient biological programming and modern productivity demands. In the next 5 minutes, we will set aside motivation. Instead, you and I are going to work together to physically redesign your environment and make a difficult habit easier to start. Before we go any further, gather your tools. Grab a pen, a piece of paper, and think of one specific habit you have been struggling to build. Relying on willpower is a direct confrontation with millions of years of human evolution. Redesigning your physical environment works with your biology rather than against it, positioning the desired behavior as the most efficient option for your brain to choose. The heaviest mental lift of any task is initiating it. Once you are in motion, inertia works in your favor, but overcoming the initial friction of a large project requires a significant spike in mental energy. To lower this barrier, we use a strategy called the 2-minute shrink. This rule involves scaling down an ambitious goal into a micro-action that requires very little initial effort. Look at your piece of paper. Write down that big goal you've been struggling with. Now, cross it out. Directly underneath it, write down the very first step of that process, specifically a version that takes less than 120 seconds to complete. If your goal was to read a complex book, the notepad crosses it out and replaces it with reading a single page. If your goal was to work out for an hour, your new instruction is simply to put on your running shoes. Be incredibly strict here. If your newly written task takes longer than 2 minutes, it is still too complex and will likely be abandoned on a day when your energy is low. By shrinking the entry point, you strip away the brain's rationalizations for stalling. Starting becomes the path of least resistance. Now that we have the task, we need to address your physical space. This is the core of choice architecture. Human behavior typically defaults to whatever is most visible and accessible in the immediate environment. We tend to do what is easiest to see and reach. This split screen shows how an environment can be engineered for action. I want you to alter your room right now to match the image on the right. Take the physical items you need for your 2-minute task and place them directly in your line of sight. The second half of choice architecture is defensive. You must increase the friction required to access your primary distractions. Pick up your phone right now, turn on Do Not Disturb, slide it into a drawer, and put it completely out of sight. By making these physical adjustments, you are shifting the energy balance of your room. You have engineered a space where the desired action requires less effort than the distraction. To maintain this behavior, we look at the neurological mechanism behind existing habits, the habit loop. This cycle shows the 3 requirements for a habit: a cue to trigger the brain, a routine to perform, and a reward to signal completion. Habit stacking hijacks this mechanism by linking a new action to a sequence your brain already knows by heart. The formula for this neural coupling is straightforward. After I perform my existing habit, I will execute my new 2-minute task. Write down your own habit stack formula now. Choose a daily anchor that happens every day without fail, like making coffee, brushing your teeth, or locking the door. We need one final element to finish the loop: the satisfaction signal. Without a clear feeling of completion, the brain is less likely to cement a new neural pathway. It needs an immediate gratification signal the moment the routine ends. Assign a micro-reward to occur immediately following your 2-minute task. This could be checking an item off a list or having your first cup of coffee only after the task is done. When you graft a new action onto an old trigger and close the loop with a reward, you execute a new behavior using the momentum of your existing routines. Look at the physical reality you just created. Your distractions are hidden, your materials are prepped, and your 2-minute formula is linked to a routine you are guaranteed to perform tomorrow. You do not need to wake up tomorrow feeling excited or energetic. The structure is now in place to guide the behavior regardless of your mood. Every time you follow this mechanical setup, you are casting a vote for a specific identity, the system's architect. You are moving toward becoming the kind of person whose environment supports their goals. To solidify this commitment, go to the comments below and type your exact habit stack formula. Engineering a completely closed system where failure requires far more effort than success allows true consistency to happen by design.